And then, perfect, that was interesting, I've never had that one happen either. Okay, so, hello everyone, happy Thursday, March 10th. Got spring break next week, that's gotta be probably exciting. So VP Shockey, would you please do roll call?
Yeah, President Green,
Here?
VP LaBelle.
Here.
All right, VP Linder. All right, Advisor Rome.
Here.
Senator Lynn. Senator Willis.
Present.
Senator Zebo.
Present.
And Senator Zhang.
Present.
And VP Linder is the call-in user, so you can mark, she just texted me, so you can mark her down as here as well. So there we go. She's gonna try getting back in a different way. I'll keep us updated. And I believe that concludes roll call, correct?
Yep.
Awesome, thank you very much, VP Shockey. Senator Zebel, do we have minutes? I don't remember if you sent them to me last week after, oh, no. Do we have minutes?
Yeah, in everyone's email.
Bingo, you're the man. All right, so then everyone take a, there are no executive for 30. That's very PG of you, Senator Zebel. So everyone take a look at it, and then I will entertain a motion at any time to approve. Senator Willis, is that a hand up? Or is that?
Yes, sir.
All right, and question, or are you making a motion?
I was gonna move to approve the minutes, but I can wait for everybody else to look at it.
I'm fine with going through, especially since you made that motion. Do we have a second? I see Senator Zebel's hand as well. Senator Zebel, is that a second?
Yes, sir.
All right, so all those in favor, please use the hand raising feature now and keep your hands up so I can get a good count. And that is majority right there, so the minutes have been approved. Thank you very much. Put your hands down. Moving on down to reading and approval of the meeting agenda for this evening. Same dealio. Take a look-see at it, and I will sit quietly and wait to take a motion. And Senator Zebel, is that a motion?
Yes, sir.
All right, do we have a second? Senator Willis, is that a second?
Yes.
All right, all those in favor, please use the hand raising feature now. Keep your hands up. And I can tell that's already a majority. And hello, VP Linder. I see what you got in. You put your hands down. Thank you very much. Moving on down, public comments, budget update with the one and only budget director, Sir Ben Monty. Ben, take it away. You got 20 minutes on the clock.
All right, give me 1 second here to share my screen with you. It looks like this will come up.
And just checking again, Senator Willis, is that a hand up again still? Or is that just a glitch on my end? I'm gonna assume it's a glitch on my end then, and disregard the hand that I see up on my participant list, and then you can continue.
Okay. Well, thank you, everyone. My name is Ben Monty. I'm the budget director for the college, and I'm here to give you an update on planning for our FY 2022-23 budget. I'm just going to talk about our general planning. I'll give you an overview of our general fund, a quick capital overview. I'll talk a little bit about our estimated tax levy impact, and give you an overview of all of our funds, and then talk about the next steps in the budget balancing process. For the past several years, we've sort of planned out our budget guided by several principles. We focus on students first as well as people first. Our mission and commitment to our employees is paramount in our planning. We also develop each budget with an eye towards the future. We discuss the impact of decisions on not just this one budget year, but how we anticipate those decisions will play out in the future as well. We want to maintain a stable and sustainable financial future, and we must always have a balanced budget. The general fund is the college's largest fund, and it's where we pay most of our operating expenses, such as faculty, staff, and other expenses like travel, utilities, and supplies. Here, I just wanted to give you some history of tuition increases. Annually, these have been less than 2% since FY 15-16. For FY 21-22, which is the current year, the tuition change was actually different for vocational students compared to college transfer students. Tuition for vocational or technical degree students increased 1.5% compared to 0.6% for college transfer students. Within the update that I'm sharing with you, we do not have a percentage increase in it. We do that because that is determined by the WTCS, and they will be formally announcing what they anticipate for the tuition increase later this month. I think it'll be approved next week, actually. Here, I just wanted to show you some of the history of our enrollment. In this current budget projection, we have 7,000 full-time equivalent students budgeted. That's the same as what we have budgeted for the current year, and we are projecting that we will meet that target and exceed it a little bit. And for next year, it's pretty much we're doing similar enrollment. However, we have continued to monitor that, and we may still make adjustments in future budget updates. So here I just show you that we're projecting an overall revenue budget of about $162.7 million for our general fund. We're projecting that tuition will be about 19% of our revenues. Nearly half our revenue comes from state aids, and almost 28% comes from property taxes. As I noted, this budget currently includes no assumed tuition increase. However, if we do receive a tuition increase between 1% and 2%, that would increase our revenue between $300,000 and $600,000. And this is what our expenditure budget looks like. We currently have a total expenditure budget of about $166.8 million. That's about 3.5% higher than the current year's modified budget. Overall, the mix of expenditures is relatively stable. One thing I like to note is that we have a contingency of 3%. However, it's shown here as about 2.8% because we do make some planned commitments from it, and then that's reflected already in the contingency and in our budget. So when you put those two amounts together, when we did this this budget update, we had about a $4.1 million budget gap. We have closed a lot of that since then. This was actually an update we gave to the board at the beginning of February. In terms of next steps, as I mentioned earlier, we do have to have a balanced budget. So we do make reductions to our expenditures in line with our priorities. We'll hopefully get, if there's a tuition increase, we'll get that into the budget. In terms of communication, we reach out to managers to share information with them, and we provide budget updates to people at the college, which is what we're doing here today. And then finally, our first step, one of our steps in the budget process is that in May, we have a public hearing. Prior to that, we have to publish a notice, which tells everyone what our budget is going to be. And we get materials ready for public viewing if somebody wishes to see those. I'm just going to talk a little bit about capital and debt service. This chart just shows sort of our history of capital borrowing. In 2021, we increased our capital borrowing to $35 million per year, and that's the level that we've kept it at. Was there a comment, Sean?
No, I mean, I still see Senator Willis's hand up, but there does not appear to be any comments so far.
Okay. In terms of just what we're, how we spend that capital borrowing, as I mentioned, it's $35 million. This just shows the breakdown of how we're planning to spend that by different categories. For example, new construction is meaning we're actually building two new facilities. A lot of it goes towards maintenance. A lot of it's dedicated to projects, and about 4.1 million we actually spend directly on academic equipment. I do want to note some of the projects that are being funded with this. The Information Technology Program Relocation Project relocates that program from the third floor of the health building to the eastern end of the first floor of the Truex main building. Positions both the IT and various health-related programs for future expansion opportunities as we seek to meet student and workforce demand in those two areas. The college is getting out of the Foundation Center lease that we have. That's the building that's across the street from the main Truex campus. As such, we're going to be remodeling and adding a second floor to what we call our admin building, which is, the admin area of the college, where most of like the VPs are. So where we have marketing, it's where I'm located as well, and HR is there as well. Lastly, at Truex, we'll be reconstructing the parking lot that's adjacent to the early learning campus, so it meets local codes. Shifting to the regions, we'll be expanding the Watertown campus to accommodate additional nursing program offering to align with the current academic plan and community needs. And we will be completing a relatively small remodel at Fort Atkinson to complete the metal fabrication program related work that we began last summer. This slide shows the impact of our mill rate, which is how we collect property taxes, and how that's going to affect the average property taxpayer in the city of Madison. We tend to keep our mill rates stay pretty level. One of the reasons it's able to do that is just because of the values are typically increasing decently within this area of the state. So that keeps our mill rate rather level and helps us avoid significant surprises for the average homeowner. So right now we're projecting that their tax will drop by about $2. Next, I'm going to show you sort of a summary of all the funds that we have outside the general fund too. Overall, the college is currently planning for a budget of about $316 million. The main thing I'm going to be concentrating on in this slide is just that surplus deficit line. When you look at the general fund there, that's where that $4.1 million I noted is reflected. The special revenue funds, that includes actually our student aid, so financial aid, as well as grants are located in that fund, and we typically budget for that to break even. Our capital projects fund is what I was just talking to you about, and so that has a deficit of $35 million, but that's funded by our debt service fund, so that's where that gets covered. Proprietary funds, those are our enterprise funds. That deficit is notably higher next year because there's a planned use of some of the fund balance there. And one of the reasons is because that's where we have our textbook rental program. And next year is one of the years where we're, on a 3-year cycle where we replace most of the materials. And next year is one of those years. So we're using that fund balance to cover those purchases. In terms of the budget timeline, and February 2nd was when we updated the board. Later this month, we're having a budget workshop with them. We present the preliminary budget in April, and then May 4th is our public hearing. And finally, on June 4th, our budget will be approved. And then our fiscal year will start July 1st. I just want to thank you all for letting me present this and share this information with you. I'm sure I can come back later this year and provide you an update again once our budget is balanced. So I am open to taking any questions as long as I have time.
You do have time. So I ask all of you, any questions for Ben? And Sarah Zebel?
Yeah, so this is kind of future thoughts, but with all the sanctions happening in the U.S., is that going to be affecting budget-wise at all in any shape or form right now that you know of? Or is that more of a research thing, kind of just wait down the line and then see what happens?
It's a good question. I think, it's a TBD. I mean, for us, it hasn't come up, and if it was to come, we have to bring it up pretty quickly because we'll be, finalizing the budget soon. I think, we do, have to budget for like expenses to increase and things. And we have some of that in the budget. So we use the best information we have available. And so I'm not sure how it's going to affect that. However, at Will Brampian, we do have our contingency in the budget. So if for some reason, we see, that some of our costs increase related to that, we may have an opportunity to use our contingency to cover those.
Okay, so we have a backup plan type of thing. All right, that's cool.
Needed. Yep.
Awesome. Any other questions? That was a very, very great question, Senator Zebel. Shows that you're watching the news and stuff. But yeah, anyone else have any questions? I do want to comment personally for myself. When as a senator prior to becoming president, the budget presentation that was given, back in 2019, it was something that was significant to me that I paid attention to, and it really helped kind of shape my understanding of how the college works and operates. So, if you're all feel comfortable and get the majority of what, I know it can get technical. I would assume Ben, I stay out of finances for the most part. But if you get the majority of it and you feel comfortable with it, and there are no other questions, and definitely move on. But I just want to make sure that I'm giving everyone that opportunity to speak to someone who is considered an expert in this field, and I really have to mean that, but I'm not exaggerating at all. Man, I'm very knowledgeable, and happy that you're always able to give these presentations and provide your input.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't look like there's anything else. So yeah, I guess we're planning that I will ever come back on a timeline. We'll let you know.
Okay.
But I guess yeah, thank you, Ben, and yeah, we always want you to hang out if you want to hang out, but if you want to take off, it's cool as well. I want to move on.
All right. Thank you.
So, all right. So, perfect. Reports of officers, advisors, and standing committees. Plan to have the executive council meeting tomorrow at 10. And so, yeah, I won't have anything on that level. And yeah, that's pretty much all I really got. Admin and finance, what do you
Yeah, I have no report. We haven't met the past couple of weeks, but we are in the process of scheduling a new meeting time. So if you're part of the finance committee, I encourage you to complete the when to meet. It's found in the finance committee Teams chat. Whenever you get the chance to do that. That concludes my report.
Awesome, thank you. And 1 second. I'm gonna see. There we go. It's got me waving. Make sure that. All right, cool. Legislative Affairs Committee is currently vacant. Team Development Committee, VP Linder, do you have a report for us?
Report.
All right, awesome. Public Relations Committee, VP Labella, do you have a report for us?
No report.
All right, thank you very much. And then Senate Advisor Report, you do your best with your help right there. What do you got for us?
Very cooperative at the moment. Food helps. So I think the biggest thing to point your attention to is the email that I sent yesterday, that the elections have been pushed back, the deadline to apply for president and senator positions and the elections themselves. So I believe I put both dates in there, but if I did not put the election dates, that's going to be April 4th through the 8th. So just 1 week pushed back, even though the application deadline is a couple weeks, just with spring break. There wasn't much action to take anyways. So the biggest thing from that email is we really need people to table the first 3 days back from spring break. So I'm hoping even if everyone could just do an hour, we would be able to talk to a lot of students. So take a look for that email and just reply to me with any times that work for you. If you can do that by the end of the day tomorrow, I'll make sure the tables get reserved by Monday, and then send out a full schedule and make sure we have all the materials, print some flyers. Yeah. Okay. I don't know what he had to add, but it was very important. So that's the biggest thing. And really just talk to people about joining Senate. Because we have 5 senator applications and 1 application for president. So we've got a ways to go. That's my report.
Awesome, and yes, you brought up a good thing that reminded me, yes, please, everyone, if you can help table, yes, we need that support, and respond to, Advisor Rome, with that email. I'm gonna move on down, not seeing any, comments or hand raises, so that's a good sign. Reports from special and select committees, Student Activities Board, VP Shockey, do you have a report for us?
Yeah, we heard 3-year plan presentations from Student Life, Phi Theta Kappa, and the Volunteer Center. That pretty much summarizes our meeting and concludes my report.
All right, thank you very much. The Racial Equity Committee is currently vacant. Textbook Affordability Committee, President Keegan, VP Shockey. I believe there's a meeting next week, right?
Not next week.
Well, not next week, I'm sorry. The week after spring break. My corrections.
Yeah, the week after.
Yeah. So until then, I don't think that there's any new information or report to give. Awesome. So then, cool. Then moving on down, Public Safety Advisory Committee. Senator Willis, do you have a report for us? She's here. Can you hear us, Senator Willis?
Hi, sorry about that. No report.
Awesome, thank you very much. Then moving on down, the reports from regional and metro campuses. Reedsburg is currently vacant. Watertown is currently vacant. Portage is currently vacant. Fort Atkinson is currently vacant. And Goodman South. Senator Zhang, do you have a report for us?
No report.
All right, thank you very much. Moving on down, reports from College Assembly and Shared Governance Council. College Assembly, I've been subbing in this role. We had a College Assembly yesterday, and we went over the work team. The College Assembly had a work team for Spotlight Series, which basically advertised certain things going around the college. An example being the Writing Center, which frequently gets used as the example, to just inform other college members of their services, to help spread information. And the work team was created in an attempt to try to define where that Spotlight Series really falls in College Assembly, if it's should even be there or what, etc. And so the work team basically brought back some information from a couple of their meetings and to share with the rest of the assembly to get feedback. I don't believe there was any well, there was some feedback. There was some feedback, but I don't really remember what it. I don't remember what it is at the moment. I know Bethany was the one that had the feedback. So there was that. There was the Achieving Dream update. There was I feel like the thumbing of the correct me, Advisor Rome, if I say this wrong. It was the final. It was kind of like finalizing the last bit for how we decide the co-chair position. I'm saying it wrong. I know I'm saying it wrong, but it's the position that Tegan is currently in. How Tegan currently became the co-chair once someone had to step out of being in the co-chair position for whatever reason. So we had to finalize that in how we write that in bylaws. Hopefully I summarized that better. And I'm going to say that includes a thorough report of College Assembly. So Awesome. Moving on down, Academic Council, Senator Zhang, do you have a report for us?
No report.
All right, thank you very much. Diversity and Community Relations Council is currently vacant. Facilities Planning and Investment Council, Senator Willis, do you have a report for us?
No report.
All right, thank you very much. And then Finance Council is currently vacant. Information
No,
Technology.
it's-
What?
Oh,
Okay.
sorry.
Oh, not a problem. Now, just making sure that I didn't miss something. I'm assuming that was just, comment, that was picked up on the, feedback. But Finance Council is currently vacant. Information Technology Council, Sarah Zebo, do you have a report for us?
No report.
All right, thank you very much. And Institutional Effectiveness Council, VP Shockey, do you have a report for us?
No report.
No reports. Boom, boom. And Professional Development Council, VP Linder, do you have a report for us?
I do not have a report. I will be at my first meeting the 21st. So hopefully our next GA, I will have a fresh new report from professional development.
We are excited for you to check that out and see what that whole world is about. So awesome. And then Student Affairs Council, that's correction. VP Labella should be corrected on the agenda. VP Labella, do you have a report for us?
So I do have a report, not from the last Student Affairs Council meeting, as I was not able to attend for personal reasons. But I am going to be briefed about it in a meeting that's happening later this week. But I do have a report from the meeting before that one. They were very close together. So in that meeting, the bulk of the meeting was some breakout sessions between different members to discuss some ideas for starting like a work plan for when it comes to what recommendations were made to the Student Affairs Council. Is going to like make in future regarding open education resources at Madison College. If you remember, was what was kind of elected as the top priority for that council. So I got to hear a lot of faculty's concerns, such as, will there be like a vetting process for the quality of open educational resources? Will it be something regulated by the bookstore, even though it's something that's going to be free? So a lot of good questions there. And I think that's really important to consider, as open educational resources do need to satisfy educational needs of students, especially in cases where there are introductory courses or transfer programs. Like, how will that be affected going forward if Madison College adopts more OER into the class system? On the other side, I got to express that this is something that is really important to students, so much so that the Wisconsin student government has made it like one of their top priorities too, to get more OER funding for colleges. And I thought that it might be something good for the college to mention, with the potential increase of cost to the textbook rental program, that if that is something that's happening, that might go over easier if it's paired with the research and effort that Madison College is putting into finding more OER for students as well. And that concludes my report.
Awesome. Thank you, VP Labella. And seeing no questions, seeing no comments, I'm going to move on. Unfinished business, we do not have any unfinished business. And then new business. So I'm going to make sure I want to make sure I get your name correctly. So how do you pronounce your name? So that I can lock this into my brain and make sure that I'm saying it right for the future. Is it Booya Jame? Is that correct?
Yeah, it's Booyah Jame. Yeah, you got it right.
Woo! Yeah, that's awesome. Perfect. So, all right, Booyah. So this is what's gonna happen. You got 10 minutes. There's 10 minutes put on the clock, basically. The first 5 minutes will be dedicated to you and being able to describe why you would be a great addition to Student Senate, what characteristics or leadership skills do you have or have you picked up in the experiences, whether it be from work experiences or just personal life experiences, etc. And you're basically selling yourself as to what to this, why you would be a good addition. And then after that 5 minutes, there's a Q&A from the rest of the senators that can ask you questions, and then a vote will happen, and I believe that's still going to be the Silent Genius link or something that Advisor Rome will paste in the chat, and if all goes well, fingers crossed, and you become a senator, then VP Shockey will read you the oath, and then you will follow their steps. Did I explain everything correctly, Maria?
Yeah, I get it right.
Awesome. So, it's 5:04 right now. I'm going to actually probably just move it up to 5:05. And let's just say you've got the next 5 minutes is on the clock, and that's dedicated to you, buddy. So take it away.
All right. Do you mean I can start?
Yep, you can go ahead.
Yeah.
And start,
Yeah, actually, my name is Buya Jame. I'm a Gambian. I'm from the Gambia, West Africa. I was a journalist for 16 years in the Gambia, both in the Gambia and Senegal. And in the early years, few months when I came to the United States in 2013, I was writing for an online magazine called the Index on Censorship in the United Kingdom. I've had experience in print media and broadcast journalism. I think around 2014, I was fortunate enough to be elected in one of the NGOs affiliated to the United Nations called the Communication Coordination Committee for the United Nations. And I was fortunate enough to be part of their board of directors as a recording secretary, which I served for 4.5 years. Prior to that, I was part of the executive board of the Gambia Press Union, where I also served as the coordinator for the media monitoring project. Because we were in a dictatorship, I decided to voluntarily create that department with the recommendation of my union president to monitor about media violations and developments. And during our tenure in office, we were the first executive committee that raised funds to establish the first journalism institute in the Gambia after 50 years of independence. I've had a lot of experience in organizing and being part of these kind of organizations because when I was in school, during my junior and high school, I was part of what we call the prefect council. It's like the student senate at college level. And I was lucky to be leading my class as a representative of my class, which we call class prefect. And I was part of the larger group of prefect council at high school level where we decide about student affairs. I've had the opportunity to join a lot of clubs like the Red Cross, where I was trained on first aid. And I was also part of the International Federation of Journalists, which we call the IFJ, because once you are a member of a union in a member country, you are automatically qualified to be a member of the IFJ, especially if you are part of the executive board. I was part of this group also called the International Association of Religion Journalists, which I was lucky to be part of through a training that I did with the International Center for Journalists in Washington, D.C. And then after that, I was fortunate enough to be invited to a fellowship for young human rights leaders at the University of Connecticut. This is how I came to which I came to the United States. And since my life was in danger whilst I was working in Senegal, I decided to sought for asylum. So I was in New York for 6 years. Then I moved into Madison 3 years ago. I decided to come to Madison College just to have credentials for higher education. Despite my experience, I felt there was a need to have the documentation to back my experience in the future if I want to go for more challenging opportunities in my career as a journalist. Because my passion has always been to serve the public, being it in the Gambia or any other country that I reside in. And since I came to Madison College, I was fortunate enough to be part of the Men of Excellence group. And recently I was nominated to do my honors program because of the good results that I have, that I usually produce every semester. And recently I represented Madison College at Tampa Bay for the Black and Brown and College Bound Summit, which was a great experience. And I think it is taking me back to the old days where I used to attend a lot of conferences and then on journalism and human rights and so forth. Basically, this is my sort of biography or track record of what I did for the past 19 to 20 years, I may say. That's all I have so far.
Awesome. I think that actually you did the full 5 minutes. That was impressive. That was a very impressive list of experiences that you acquired. I heard a lot of skills within that. Like I'm gonna call it a resume because that was very impressive. A lot of volunteer work. That's awesome. So. I'm going to, now that the 5 minutes is up, the next 5 minutes, let's open it up to the rest of the senators. Do we have any questions for Booyah? Taylor, Ben, VP LaBella, I saw your hand up first.
Well, first off, it is nice to meet you. And I just wanted to ask tonight, I know not everybody has a report because some of our councils and committees only meet like once a month. But of what you have heard tonight, is there anything that this group has spoken about that has you really interested or something you'd want to learn more about?
Yeah, actually, I came in when one of this gentleman was presenting a report. I think Monty, right? I got it, if I get it right. I think I'm still interested about student affairs as to what the school is doing to improve or to encourage more students staying in college and their degrees, because over the past 2 years has been very challenging to Americans and residents alike. So it's always good. It's very important for me as a student and a would-be senator to know some of these things, because it's important to the day-to-day activities of students who are taking part or who are attending Madison College, because that is a core foundation it is a bedrock or a stepping stone for somebody to who wants to excel in Madison College, to know what are the benefits there and how it should be accessible for them to easily do their courses and then come out with greater results.
Awesome. I still see your hand up, VP Development. I did see VP Shockey's hand go up. Did you have a question?
Yeah, I do, and not so much a question about your background. You seem very qualified, and your journalism work seems very interesting and impressive. But I'm just curious to know how you learned about Senate, or how you found out about us.
I think you may be on mute, Maria.
Yeah, if I could remember, I think I learned it from Eli because she once talked to me about the Senate and advised me to attend some of your General Assembly meetings. And when I got that link from Sean, I decided to go to the website to read about the Senate and all that. I came to realize that it's just a different name that is given to the Senate, but I was doing a similar thing in high school and junior school. So I felt it's very important for me to go back to what I used to do and then enjoy my stay as well. I enjoy my stay in Madison College because I wouldn't want to be the kind of students that wanna just come to Madison College, get my degree and get out of there. I just wanna leave a mark. I just wanna make history. I want the student population to know, okay, at some point or year so and so, this student was here and he did this thing for Madison College. I am all, in short, I'm a history maker, and I always love to be that kind of person that serve as a role model to encourage young people to do the same.
Perfect. I know that we have the 5 minutes up, but I'm gonna give this last question to Senator Willis to she had her hand up before the 5 minutes came up, so you can ask your last question and then we'll move on.
You don't want me to extend the time?
I'm gonna bypass it and just say, well, good, because you had your hand up prior to the 5 minutes.
Okay, well, I'll go ahead and ask my question. Well,
No.
what I wanted to say, oh, you want me to not ask my question?
No, I'm saying you can ask your question, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay. Thank you. So what I'm going to say to you is, not only does Madison College have a population of young students, you have to also remember us non-traditional students, the older students. And you can definitely leave a huge footprint by getting involved in Student Senate. So I'm going to ask you, what is one of your greatest strengths and one of your greatest weaknesses, so that we can actually get to know you better from your perspective? Because later we'll tell you what we feel those are, but for now, what do you feel they are?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. I think one of my greatest strengths is consistency, because in whatever thing I'm involved in, I always want to make sure that I'm consistent and then have lasting results. Because getting into something and then having unfinished job, I don't like it. I always want to see results. So that consistency has been part of me, and I see it as a very important tool if you want to achieve what you want to achieve in future. My weakness is
Continue. Continue.
Oh yeah, on the other hand, my weakness is I don't want to be seeing people discouraging me, because in anything that you're involved in, you always have people who are, on the sideline trying to try to sway your attention to other things that are not useful to your job or whatever you're doing. So I try as much as possible to avoid those kind of distractions, because if you want to achieve a goal, you always have to focus and then avoid those kind of people that always want to be a stumbling block on your journey to success. I don't know whether I've answered your question though.
I think it answered the question, yeah, a very good answer. Okay, so, with that said, now we're gonna take to the next part. Advisor Rome, if you would be so kind as to drop the link in the chat. All voting members, go ahead and, click the link, vote, and, then Advisor Rome will tell us the results, and, that's fingers crossed. Woo! And I see my, I don't know. Pretty weird that I'm doing that in a recording, but, it's all right.
All right, I am happy to say, Booyah, welcome to the Student Senate. You are now our newest student senator.
Thank you.
So we'll do the swearing in officially.
Yeah. All right. So, Jack, VP Shockey, would you be so kind as to do the honors?
Yep, and just to preface it, I'll just read the oath of office, and all you have to do is say yes, Booyah, after I read it here.
Okay.
So do you solemnly swear to do your civic duty to serve your college, your community, and most importantly, your fellow students in a democratic fashion, that you will treat all people equally and fairly, that you will strive to create a student senate which is welcoming to everyone, that you will protect and defend the rights of all students, that you will listen, speak out and act in ways which will empower all students, and that you will carry out all of these tasks to the best of your ability?
Yes.
Perfect. Now it's official. Yeah. Woo! Awesome. So then this is perfect. Sarah Germain and we're officially can use the last name now. So this is exciting. Do you have anything you would like to say as a victory speech or whatever, or comment?
Yeah. First of all, I want to thank everyone for giving me this opportunity to attend, especially Ely, because she built the foundation for me to be able to be part of this Senate. And as I said in my earlier introduction, I will endeavor to do my best and then serve the Madison College community without fear or favor. Because my passion for humanity, especially in the area of youth and, or human rights or whatsoever, my passion for human development has always been in me since I was a child. And I think moving forward, I'll be able to have positive impact and serve as a role model to the students of Madison College. I'm looking forward to avenues where I can have the enabling environment to do that job. Thank you.
Perfect. I already anticipated that you would be an additional member of the Senate, so I've added you to our SharePoint already. I believe to our Outlook group, and you are added on to our Teams, our Microsoft Teams stuff as well. So I already have that all set, so we'll get you set up with VP Linder. She'll get in touch, and get you all set up with the onboarding. But yeah, congratulations again. Very excited to have you on board, and another great addition to this group, and we look forward to being able to collaborate. And that with that, I am going to conclude this part of new business, and I'll take it down to the non-business housekeeping section, which obviously do not have anything. And that will lead us down to the, announcements. I actually do not believe that we have, office hours are not gonna be required next week. I know we haven't fully talked about that, but I believe that that's usually the protocol, so, I'm just kind of surprised, saying that. But send all your reports, send all your reports to our amazing communications coordinator, Sarah Zebel. And then check all of your communication platforms, Outlook, Teams, WebEx, your phone. Today that was a perfect example. VP Linder sending me a text message. Check all of your communication platforms to keep in touch with each other. But with that said, I will look for a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting. And did I see Sarah Zebel's hand up first?
No.
Or what did I see? Because I'm calling you out because I saw your
Don't
hand
worry
up.
about it. Just don't worry about it.
All right, so then next hand up I saw was Sarah Willis. Is this a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting?
Yes, I move to adjourn.
Awesome. Do we have well, I see VP Labella's hand up was next. VP Labella, is this the second?
Yes.
All right. With that said, all those in favor of adjourning tonight's meeting, please use the hand raising feature now. There we go. I'm happy to see that. And we are officially adjourned at 5:25 p.m. on March 10th, 2022. Have a great rest of your Thursday evening. Have a great Friday. Have a great spring break. Enjoy it. Take the time off, relax, catch up, do what you gotta do, and we will see you back here the next Thursday after that. All right. Congratulations again. And yeah, that said, I'll see everyone later.